here we go.
Is it running?
It is going.
She's running. Episode
70. Yeah. Wow. We had a fun episode 69 last weekend.
Oh, yeah. That would have been fun to have them on episode 69, too.
This would have been a fun episode 69.
Yeah. But
we are blessed, honored, happy to be joined here by almost all of Malibu Moon. Would y'all boys like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. I'm Blake, and I am the singer.
I'm Gawain, and I'm the drummer.
I'm Tanner. I play bass and guitar.
I'm Brendan. I do lead guitar and bass as well.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Do you do the triangle and the tambourine, too? Do they make you do that shit?
I can, yeah.
Yeah, it's in my skill set.
We're also missing Christian. He's on guitar, synth, and sings sometimes.
Out in Iowa right now.
Yeah, boy.
Damn.
Julie was telling me about him. He be making a haul for some of y'all's stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I respect the grind.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, especially during, I guess it was like the first semester of the school year. He's not in school, but for us, it was like the first semester. We had like about 20 shows from January up until May, and he'd just make that 6-8 hour drive every single
Holy
weekend.
Shit.
That's a lot.
Dedication,
Absolute
dude.
beast.
That's insane.
I would not make that drive for you, bro.
Just for the gas money? Not
Yeah.
worth it.
I need it comped, bro.
We'd have to Zoom the fucking pod. I guess you guys
Oh,
can't do that
God.
shit, though.
That'd be
Or if
brutal.
you just
20 shows.
make it a business, you can write it off on your taxes.
Oh,
That's the goal.
true.
Which is what we're trying to do, but we've been too lazy to go
Dude,
to
there
the
you go.
courthouse and
It's
make
a
it an
lot, bro.
Make that
LLC.
bitch an
It's a
LLC.
lot.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I still do have to have the money to pay for it to write it off. That's kind of the tricky part, bro.
It's not
is a
free.
tricky
It's like in Schitt's Creek where he thinks it's just like free. He's
Yeah.
like, it's a tax
I
write-off.
just
It's
write it
fine.
off.
They're like, you have to pay for this shit.
Absolutely. So,
Malibu.
I came across y'all on Instagram. How did y'all kind of come across one another? What's the old origin story? What's the lore?
So it first started off with me and Christian. We met on this app. It's like Tinder,
Grindr?
but for musicians.
Oh, wait, that's kind of like...
It's
It's called
called-
Grinder?
Pretty, yeah, basically because he was the only other dude on the app, and swiped right. He looked pretty cute because he had like this selfie on there where he was like in the sun, like.
Hell yeah.
Fuck. And then I hit him up, and yeah, we started jamming. We went through a couple of terrible band names, and then we ended up landing on Malibu Moon because it was like the first song that we made together. We named ourselves after the song, and then we were like, dude, we need a drummer. So we hit up Drew Bethel because she was our manager. Found this guy. This guy found this guy because they happened to be brothers.
Hey, that makes things easier.
And then after like our first show that we had in November, we added him.
Yeah. I was making music with Gawain because we met through Razorback Marching Band. He was actually my section leader. We both played clarinet. And then we were making music together. And he was like, yeah, you just like fit the vibe of this indie band I'm working with. And I was like, sure.
Dude, I was going to ask about that because the show that we went
Dude,
to...
that was like my first thing I wanted to talk about. I love this.
Yeah.
Perfect transition.
The
Which one was that?
fucking Club 5.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was
a good
yeah,
show.
at the Kava Bar,
It
bro.
was so
The
cool.
fucking like horn line.
Oh, yeah.
I need to know how
Yeah,
this like
for
came
context,
about,
Yeah.
bro.
They brought in a fucking drum line, and we were like right by the door, and so I was like, "What the fuck?" It
Yeah.
was so loud, but it was so
So
cool.
that was like kind of the creation. It was so me and Gawain are both in a music fraternity, and like it was rush season like that semester, and there were a bunch of like new guys coming in, and we do these like meetings, and the fraternity is called PMA, Phi Me Alpha, and we do these like meetings where you have to like get to know new brothers, and there was like one guy who was like he knew I was in a band, and he was like, oh, dude, if you ever need like somebody to play, if y'all ever do like a horn line or something, hit me up, because he played like saxophone. A lot of these guys are in like Razorback Marching Band, and so I was like, oh shit, that would be like really cool to put on a song. So like me and Gawain kind of got a bunch of these guys together and wrote a song around like having a horn line.
Okay.
And then brought them in for I think they only played at like 2 or 3 shows. But yeah, it was a 509 and then a house show before that.
Because I remember seeing on y'all's Instagram story it happening at the house show, and I was like, dude, dear God, they're neighbors, bro. I can't imagine what a surprise that was.
Yeah.
That's another thing I wanted to bring up is, like, I love y'all, like, getting into, like, the root of music and, like, doing the house shows. Like, when I first came across y'all, it was something that I was so stoked to see. Just because it's, like, you don't see that anymore. People just want to get venues and shit.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like house shows here, especially now. To my knowledge, there used to be like kind of a scene, but like we really wanted to bring that back.
I think y'all did in full
I
fashion.
think you did.
Fucking horn line and everything.
Is that something like you wrote the song for it? Would you guys ever do that like on a recorded track, or is it gonna be like?
Eventually.
The song we made, that Tanner and I wrote for that has that horn feature. It's called Moon Juice, actually. It was meant to be like this fun song. You know, something we like to do with Malibu Moon is this. I mean, the house party thing, reviving that in our lives, was an example of this. We like to just give people experiences, and kind of just give people a good time because we're getting a good time out of that. And you know, it gives all these other benefits outside of that. But really, what we care about is just making things fun for people, especially for people who like we are yet to meet. So
It fucking worked. That was like one of the most memorable shows because of that.
Yeah, it was.
That trombone came in.
It
I
was
like,
badass.
Oh, dude, I've never seen that. It was
I
so
really
cool.
enjoyed it, and I mean, we'll get to it. Y'all got some stuff coming up. I'm excited to talk about that. But just in terms of like when y'all get together and create, is there like an intention, or do y'all just kind of jam until it comes together?
All of the above. It really depends on the track. Like sometimes somebody will like make a song because we all have Logic. We all like have it on our computers at like our homes and stuff. So somebody will like send a demo and we're like, holy shit, dude. Like that is fucking awesome. Like next time we meet up, we're working on that. Or sometimes like we'll come into like a session without a plan and we're jamming and we're like, open up the computer, like gotta put that down. There's really no method to it. So like, yeah,
Just whatever
super
gets the job
random.
done.
Yeah.
Well, it seems to be working. I'm gonna be honest. Like when I first came across you on Instagram, the first thing I did was just listen to what was out, and I think that was like maybe 5 songs because I think it was right before Balls came out, which
Dude.
was a banger, bro. Like I want to tell y'all that.
Who names these fucking songs? Balls and Moon Juice.
Well, the story
It's so
behind
lit.
that was that was a demo that Brendan sent, and it was just like a, you know, we didn't know the name of it, so he just put Balls as the file name, and then
It just stuck.
It's stuck.
yeah,
Bounced it like
you know,
that.
we gave it a real name, I guess, When We Were Friends, because that was going on. That's what was going on in the lyrics, but it was actually a fan's decision. So at our first house party show, that was at Tanner's apartment.
An apartment,
we were
bro.
like,
That's-
so the song,
It's new.
the song
Top
is
floor
called
neighbor.
When We Were Friends, but we also kind of wanted to call it Balls or whatever, how Blake said that, and everyone cheered for Balls, so we named it Balls.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
it's always stuck. That's how it's always stuck to
Yeah.
me.
And
Like,
you did the parentheses, which we do with podcasts sometimes. Like, I love the naming of just adding whatever it actually is in the fucking parentheses.
it is fun, bro, because it doesn't have to make any sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Like it literally can just go down as that, like what it had, just the file name.
yeah.
When like there's an album by the Backseat Lovers called When We Were Friends, right? And
Yeah.
we were like, we can't name it that. There's no songs called Balls.
That's probably
Hey, that's
yeah,
new
that's,
territory.
that's
Yeah.
safe. You are good to go
Balls.
there. That might be a safe route for some upcoming ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
You have to make one called Sack, please.
Oh, we got
Dick,
many
dick
ideas.
and balls.
Sack. Well, Tanner's apartment where we had our first show is called the Nut Sack. Want to tell us why?
Yes. So we named it the Nutsack because me and my 3 roommates, we were like we need a name for this place, the Nutsack, because that's where we hang.
Dude. That's kind of a bar, actually.
I like it.
That kind of
Yeah.
goes hard.
I like it.
So we
You
could
could
totally
make
get
some crazy
away.
logos for that.
I
Yeah.
feel like we had an interesting one for your place for a while, but I can't remember the old one. I don't think
Yeah.
we've named the new one.
Yeah, Devontae called it like the Goon Cave or something. I was
Yeah,
like, what the
bro.
fuck?
Yeah.
It's like a 400 square foot studio apartment, the Goon Cave. I was
Where
like,
is
that's
this?
so sus.
That's exactly what it was.
You cannot call it that. You said, where is this? Was
No.
it?
We don't know who lives there anymore, or if they be gooning.
There's a new occupant in the Goon Cave. I'm
Two
out
unknowns. So as a student, I've been going to Springtime for a long time. I've gotten to see some of my like favorite artists there, and I've also like grown into enjoying artists that I've gotten to see there. What was that like as a performer? I imagine that was probably massive.
Yeah, I mean, I've known about Springtime Youth for a long time because I was going to U of A for a while, and I was thinking for a while, at one point I'll consider it a milestone that I perform here at some point. And Malibu Moon started playing shows really in January, and so 3 or 4 months in, we already got into that event. And yeah, it's some things that's come sooner than you expected. It's crazy. It was a crazy experience, and it sounded really good. It was the largest stage that we've got to play on at this point, I believe. And the crowd was awesome. It was a really good day.
It was a hot fucking day too.
Yeah, it was kind of hot.
Jesus Christ. And that parking lot is unforgiving.
Yeah.
There's no shade, bro. No shade at all. I mean, and it was a good lineup too.
Yeah.
Like y'all got to perform next to a lot of like really, really cool names in terms of people that have been and people that are coming up, which I think is one of the really fun things that they do with Springtime of Youth is there is that good mix.
Yeah.
I listened to a band duo, I don't know what the fuck you call 'em, Between Friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I came across them at the Springtime that Dominic Fike was here. Because I was like,
yeah.
I'm not missing the Dominic Fike show,
Yeah.
especially if I can go for free, bro.
Yeah.
Especially if I can go for free.
That's lit. So y'all haven't been playing shows live that long. It's just since this January.
Not very long.
I mean, I guess like y'all's first official show before I was in the band was November, was the Greek Theater Battle of the Bands.
Yeah, we were playing it was put together by Hill Records, I believe, the student-ran record label on U of A campus, and yeah, they put together this Battle of the Bands. Thoughts of Bowling was there, which was pretty cool. Yeah, that was our first show ever, and Tanner wasn't even in it yet.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
But really, like our first official show with all of us was in January. It was the Friday after like the first week of class this past semester. At a venue called The Platform, which is now closed in Prairie Grove.
Y'all played at the Platform?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's where we went to see Rob play guitar.
Yo,
That place in Prairie
place is
Grove.
Cool.
It's really
It was cool, except
was.
every
I like that.
weekend I saw their story and they were like, we flooded, guys. We
Yeah.
It's like,
It's really sad.
it is sad because as a venue, it was sick.
It was awesome,
Really
yeah.
cool.
That is,
rip.
wow, that's funny. So, I think the big thing we all want to talk about, I'm excited to hear y'all talk about it. Let's hear about the CP.
All right.
Is this the first your first official EP, right? 'Cause
Yeah. Yeah, it's the first EP. Like we have like a few songs that we wrote years ago, and I don't really like they're in our discography. I'm never gonna get rid of them, but like this EP is like the first like full band experience where it's like all of us together. It's gonna include 2 songs we already have released, Balls, of course, and Am I Heartless, and then it has 2 more songs. One of them we've never even played live before because it's kind of too somber to play live, and like we like to have a really energetic show, and like you can't really be jumping up and down and like
is fair.
screaming to this soft sad song.
Yeah.
Or you bring them down just
that's
to
good, though.
really bring them all the way back up, you know? We're going to slow things down for y'all.
We're trying to figure out how to like incorporate that into a set because like the
Yeah.
big thing, I feel like a lot of our reputation is we just do like a bunch of funky shit. Like we're able to like jump around and like grab each other or whatever while we're playing. Like can't really do that to a super sad song.
Yeah, while
but,
you're
like,
crying, just
Fair.
crying on each
Maybe-
other's shoulder.
Maybe a little slow dance action
Yeah.
up there.
Everybody
Yeah.
sit
Moment.
down. Everybody sit down.
Dude, that
and
would be
watch.
unique, bro. I've never once been told to sit at a concert. That would be
I would
memorable.
kind of love that.
You know, I might do that.
Yeah, that's
Everybody take a fucking seat.
People would
Everybody
love
be
that.
quiet right now.
Like,
I don't want a
was
fucking
that
word from
Lorde?
any of y'all.
Was that Lord who did that? She's like, shh, like shush the crowd.
I feel like it was
Did
Billie
y'all-
Eilish because she did like some acapella shit. She was
yeah.
getting
It's
mad
like-
when people were like
Like,
screaming
shut
during
the
it.
fuck up. Like, let me sing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be you. Just crashed out on the fans.
So did you have something?
No,
Oh, I was just say, how's the, like,
just political.
how's that
questions.
been in terms of putting it together as a process, and like, is there some outlook for what's happening after that?
It's been a long process. Not gonna lie.
He's ready
Yeah.
to cook,
Let
bro.
me spit, let me spit.
Give me that shit.
Yeah, I mean, well, we've been just like, again, you know, Malibu Moon is kind of new. Well, it's been around for a bit, but we started really cooking, I guess, in the fall, and so we've been just taking the next step in what it means to be working full send on all of this. I feel like every month that passes, we have a raised standard of how often we work on this music and how many ideas we put out. I feel like our creativity is getting more and more unlocked. But not only that, just working the system, working the software. We all have these computers of our own, and we just send each other files, and then we build off that. This has been a process that's very efficient right now, but it took a while to get that down. So, I mean, the EP definitely took longer than we originally anticipated, but we've just been enjoying the process and letting it come out whenever it does. We know that it's gonna be something that we're proud of, and yeah, people should be excited about it.
I'm excited about
I'm
it.
excited. I think you guys have like a big like local live presence. So I think like finally like having a project, I think people are excited for it. It's cool.
It was originally supposed to be like, I want to say an 8-song mini album, but like we had already committed to releasing it during the summer, and we're like, there's absolutely no way we can make it an 8-song mini album. So we turned it into an EP. So like all the other songs that we were working on to be in the EP, we're gonna throw into another project that we're trying to like make like our first album. But we're not gonna put a date on that because last time we put a date on something, we got really fucking stressed and
dude.
had to cut it down in half.
No, dude.
Every
it's-
time we get together, there's always some jam that makes a new song. So
and that's another song we gotta release.
I was gonna ask, did you guys just make like a shit ton of songs and have like a bunch you had to cut down to only like
Yeah,
4 to 8?
it's like we have like all these ideas, and some of them we're further along than others, and we hit this time crunch where like we just gotta pick the ones that we have almost done to throw into this EP. But they made sense. They're the ones that made the most sense to be in this EP because Ruined is one of the songs on the EP, and that's probably like one of our unreleased fan favorite when we play. Like at 509, that was my personal favorite song that we played because it got one of our biggest pops aside from that horn line. It's like it felt.
Yeah.
it
I
just
mean,
felt
how's the
really
horn line not
good.
going to pop?
Yeah,
You know?
that was super fun. And speaking of that horn line, like they like helped make that like whole line like what the horns play, and
We
I
had
had
like multiple rehearsals.
no, we only had like 2 or 3 rehearsals
Well,
with
yeah.
them, and then I didn't have any lyrics at all, and the house show in 509 were like 4 or 5 days away.
We wrote them in like a couple days. We were stuck. It was during like the big snow. He was stuck at my apartment, like staying there for like a couple days. And so one night we're like playing through. I think it was which jazz standard was it?
I'm not the god.
Yeah, bro.
I think it was St. Thomas.
Yeah, it was St.
But,
Thomas.
Yeah.
This like jazz standard, and I have this app that shows you like all the chords to it, and so we just kind of like we're playing through the chords and like reworked them into like a funk jam.
Yeah, I was like, play those chords real quick, and then I was like, all right, now take that chord out, and then we'll loop that before hitting that chord, and then we just made a new song out of it. But
Yeah.
that's why it sounds like, I mean, you could say jazzy. It's just the way that the chords like move
Yeah.
around. I like it.
And then we met up with the horn line for the first time, like I think like 2 weeks before the gig, and basically like some of these guys are like jazz majors, and we were just kind of like, okay, like play what sounds good over this, and try to like kind of like structure it around what we wanted.
They made it work so quick.
Oh
but
yeah,
yeah.
it came together like pretty nice. So yeah.
And there was like the whole like jazz majors. Like you guys did a full like let everybody do their fucking solo too. Like I felt like I was at a jazz band concert.
No, it
was
kicked
so
ass.
lit.
And I'm an absolute slut to hear live saxophone. And so when he
Dude.
got his turn, I was zoned the fuck
Oh,
in.
yeah.
And I'm an old fucking tromboner, dude. I played the trombone in high school, so I was
Oh, there we go.
I was living for that shit.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always like really enjoyed about the sound of y'all's music is like you can tell it's indie, but y'all there's always something unique. And it's not like a uniform uniqueness that's like on the same track to track, but there's always just something that's like a little bit like different about the
Yeah.
way the songs come out.
That's something that I don't think we're ever gonna leave. We're just gonna keep on taking the knowledge that each of us have and the backgrounds that each of us have, which is very different. Like we all call ourselves an indie band, but you know, I have a background being like a jazz drummer, and I play for a metal band. You know, that I have my ways of bringing in some diversity to our sound, and I want to be kind of genreless in a way, but you can still call it indie. But basically, by the end of the day, we're just throwing in ideas of what we've learned and just making something that we think sounds good out of that. And whatever we get, you know, we like to call it moon rock. So we don't have to categorize it with really anything.
Coined it. Copyright that shit.
Yeah.
Or Drew Bethel modified it and said surf rock for landlocked people. I feel like that's a
Whoa.
pretty cool,
I do like that
that's
one.
a cool
I do like that
slogan.
one. That was
That
one
is good.
her and I, or she mentioned in her and I's conversation. I was like, it does, like when you listen and then you hear that, it does really settle well.
Makes sense.
And I think, was that y'all's like Instagram bio for a little bit?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Drew's in charge of like keeping it, making it stay pretty. So she's the one who changes it. Like I'll look and it's a different bio. I'm like, awesome.
Heck yeah.
So I don't know what the bio is right
Thank
now,
you, Drew.
if I'm honest.
For real.
Shout out
Shout
to
out
Drew.
Drew.
Shout out Drew.
Shout out Drew,
Shout
yeah.
out Drew.
I mean, I'm a person who like attributes like music to seasons. Like I have music I only listen to in the winter. Is that part of why you wanted to drop the EP in the summer? Because I feel like that's the vibe I get from you guys. It hits in
Well,
the summer.
Our original plan was to drop it in like March. So yeah, it was
Pre-summer.
but I would say for this EP, you can listen to it to like any part of the year.
Mhm.
But that is a good thing to think about. You know, a lot of different songs, especially like I like to listen to more acoustic stuff in the winter usually, like some indie folk. And then in the summer, it might get a little more electronic. But yeah, Malibu Moon's always going to be a combination of everything. I want to be able to listen to our stuff year round for sure.
Yeah.
I do feel like Balls is kind of a summer song though.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Balls in the winter though. I don't know. I'm gonna have to try it.
Oh,
I might
yeah.
have to try it.
That's a
Yeah, little
that's a tricky one, bro.
Shriveled balls.
It doesn't hit the same.
Shriveled balls
You have
or
to drop
sweaty
a cold
balls.
edition, bro. It's just a little bit
Yeah,
higher
make it more
pitch.
acoustic. That'd be fucking lit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The cold remix. It's coming
Dude,
out next winter.
I think we're cooking something good here. I think we're cooking something good.
It may happen.
So, I mean, there's a lot of like I like to think that there's a lot of like fun venues to perform at in this area just between Fayetteville and Bentonville. Is there any that y'all are like really, really trying to get in on, or is it just get where you
Or
can?
your favorite so far?
Favorite so far, Springtime of Youth, but that's not really like a venue. But George's is awesome. George's is kind of like the mecca of like, or the back room of George's is where basically every band wants to get to. It's
Mhm.
like once you get there, you're like, okay, there's some level of respect here now. And then 509 was like, it's just so tight in there, which makes it so much better because like when we first got up there to go play, I was like, damn, like if I move a little bit, I'm hitting somebody in the face. I remember there was one part like we play like this weird version of our song Bridges and we let Christian sing it and like we make it kind of punky and like I was going kind of nuts with my guitar and I almost hit a girl in the face like right in front of me and she had to like weave and I was like, dude, like this is awesome.
That's
I mean, that'd be
fucking
a
hard.
lifetime memory, bro.
Yeah, the scars from Malibu Moon.
Yeah.
Dude.
No, I remember it. It was a very like intimate setting. Like we were in like the very back, and I think that was like 10 feet away.
yeah.
I was like, dude, this is awesome. Like any other concert, I feel like I'm in like the front of the arena, and it was just like, but you still got the whole experience.
It kind of forces everybody in that, like a lot of concerts you can like sit there and talk to your friend. In a room like that, like you can't ignore us.
You have to
Yeah.
mingle with each other too.
You have to watch us.
You have to
And I feel like shows like that, and especially the house shows, were where like people from like different walks like met each other like at our shows, and especially at the house shows, and like became friends. It felt like we kind of saw like a culture beginning to form at these house shows. Like the same people kept coming back, and I'm like, like, how do you know this person? You know, and they're like, oh, like we're friends now. I'm like, holy shit.
Just from the house shows?
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Hell yeah,
That's
dude.
cool.
That's like, look, forever. I think I'll always prefer like a house party over bars, over clubbing, and so that's why I was like really, really stoked to see that y'all were doing the house show thing. Is I was like, we need to bring that back. Like that was such a prime era of just enjoying getting fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A bunch
Oh,
of
yeah.
people in a house. It's a good time.
And it's so loud.
Oh, I can only imagine, bro.
It's like we got blessed because one of the guys, shout out Sam, let us do at his house twice. It was called the Groove, is what everybody called it.
Way
We
better
packed
than
into like the
cave.
corner of his kitchen for the first one, and he doesn't have neighbors on one side. And we were like, I was doing like sound checks, like while they would go play, I would walk down the street. I'm like, you can totally hear everything. But I kept telling him like, nah, like we're good, just like.
Well, yeah.
And the cops didn't come until like afterwards, and everybody moved to the backyard. That was the only problem, was because people were loud in
Yeah.
the backyard.
I remember that. I remember somebody going out there and sound checking and being like, "Oh, dude, it's like basically soundproof." That was a lie.
I was like, because
He's like, I can't even.
like if we tell you, like, we already committed to this.
Yeah.
And, like if the cops are coming, the cops are coming. Like
Yeah.
we have a lot of people showing up. We've invested a lot of money into this because like we made these janky ass shirts that we gave away for free that had like the balls cover art on it that we iron
Oh, yeah.
pressed on, and just
Hell
we
yeah.
made like 40, 50 of them and just gave them out for free. And then we, you know, other things, we partied, and
As you should. Well earned.
it was just, yeah, we already committed. So if it was too loud, then fuck it. Like,
Yeah. And it's like, it's music.
yeah,
You know? He's gonna be like, turn it down.
exactly. And that's all the guy said was like, you gotta turn it down and get everybody inside. We're like,
Yeah.
okay.
We got
These are
incredibly
easily
lucky
attainable.
with our first house show. 'Cause that was like, that was a gamble. Whether like we would have ended up in jail, I feel like.
I don't know
Oh,
about
shit.
jail, but
Well, I mean, we packed into my apartment, which is on the second floor. I don't know if I should drop the location.
fuck it.
The Landing in Fayetteville.
It's
Um,
it's next to the baseball stadium.
Yeah, it's
Like,
next
Oh,
to
okay,
Little
Aspen.
okay,
pocket,
okay.
like
Yeah,
Aspen
so-
Heights area.
Yeah, we all pack into there. The drum set is like set up in my living room and all of our amps. We're testing the sound, and I'm like walking like downstairs and walking out into the parking lot, and you can hear it everywhere.
Dude, I can only imagine because I'll like leave my TV on to take my recyclables down and like hear it halfway down the hall when
Yeah.
I'm coming up. I can't imagine having a full fucking live band.
We got so lucky because I went and like talked to all my neighbors before. I was like, listen, we're having a party and a band is playing at it.
I don't
And
know what band,
like I went
somebody
to
else.
3 of my neighbors, like my next door neighbor on the right side, neighbor across, or both of my neighbors downstairs as well. And I was like, listen, here's the thing. And like 3 out of 4 of them were also throwing a party. So
hell
it
yeah.
just worked out like perfectly.
Yeah.
Like that sound ended up masking our sound sort of, and it was just a lot of sound coming from this one place. But as long as nobody like called the cops, it would have been fine.
Word.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever gets the job done, really.
That's awesome.
Got y'all by. Hell yeah. I mean, is that something? It's tricky because I feel like now y'all are gaining some traction. It would be a busier thing. Is that something y'all are wanting to continue to do? Maybe
So-
not in your crib, but
Oh yeah, no,
Definitely not.
One and only.
yeah. We're planning another house show sometime in August.
Word.
Do we name drop
Um,
whose house it is?
Yeah.
it's
Dox 'em.
It could end up not happening.
Okay,
there.
so we won't mention that. So like
Yeah.
we're working on a house show. It might be our last one just because like we're starting to get a little bit older. Like I'm about to be 23. He's the youngster. He's like the youthful one. I'm not acting like I'm old, but like it's just kind of weird.
Bro's
It'll
unk.
get to a point where it's kind of too weird
Mhm.
to be throwing house parties for college kids, and it's like,
yeah.
yeah, I graduated like 2-3 years ago, and like, and it's also like we don't want that to be the only thing we're known for.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun, and we love that that's like a part of our identity. But like, we're trying our best not to be known for one specific thing. So we don't want it to be like, oh, Malibu Moon, they just throw really fun parties and that's about it. Like, no, we can do like whatever we want
Yeah.
type of deal.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I the way I see it, I don't think parties are like fully out, but we are trying to build enough of a base to where if we hosted something and it's only our fans there, and it's like not us hosting, preferably, we'll do something like that. But at this point, we're spending so much time cooking our projects and getting these other shows booked. There are house parties, but then there are also like experiences that we have under our belt right now, like ready to present for people, like playing at this type of area that no band has thought to play at. And we're gonna continue doing things that bands that we know have not done yet, I guess. And house parties was one of those things. So.
Like building a platform out on this pond and performing here.
Dude,
yeah.
we thought about
Great
getting,
idea.
getting
That's
like one of
sick.
those like a boat. Drew found like this really cool Coca-Cola boat for like $100 and like
You gotta make sure it floats, bro. For $100.
there's
dude.
only one way to find out, and that's like either you float or you get sick, and that's how you go out because you're
Yeah,
in
dude.
that.
dude,
No
that-
open wounds. if
I
you
don't
go
want to
in
be
that
the one that
fucking-
sinks in there, bro.
No, absolutely not.
I might throw a
So-
couple rocks on there and see if it holds that first.
Yeah, so it's got to be Tanner.
Yeah. I'll do it.
Take one for the team.
Basically, yeah, we haven't really planned on doing house shows past the one in August, just because the Groove sadly like shut down, like they just moved out, and we don't really have anybody to throw house shows. So, like, I guess we're kind of on the market for somebody to let
Hey,
us play at
you
their
would
house.
If you've got a house and you want a live band,
If you have a pool,
Hit us up.
actually.
Oh, true.
oh,
pool?
oh yeah,
Pools would be
that's
awesome.
That'd be
Um,
lit. High School Musical type beat.
the Dale.
Should I bring them to my
That'd be
apartment
sick.
complex? We'll
That'd
put you
be
guys on
so
the roof.
We
yeah.
actually we had something booked to play
something
at
locked
an
in.
apartment complex pool. But why did we not do it? Oh, it got rained out, and
Yeah.
then we were like, we're just
the
not.
pool
gonna
wasn't
reschedule.
even open. The pool actually opened like 2 weeks ago, and we were gonna play this back in like May, and they were like, oh yeah, the pool's gonna be open.
Yeah.
Nah.
Just found
See
out.
a bunch of people standing around a
Yeah,
body of
around
water.
the pool.
Don't
Yeah.
fucking jump in.
Yeah.
I've been swimming in my pool for months. I got an email like 2 days ago. And they were like, it's chemically balanced now. You can swim. I was like, I've been in that fucking thing since
What do you
February,
mean?
bro.
Like-
What?
Like, damn.
It's fucked.
I thought I was glowing this whole time. It was a chemical burn.
That's what's wrong with me. Fuck.
That's what it is.
Can we? Do you guys know the date of the EP? Can we say it?
The EP, yeah. It comes, what's today? The 3rd.
Today's the 3rd, yeah.
So it comes out on the 5th. So
Oh my god.
2 days.
Yeah. So it
Just
should
it's gonna
be,
out.
it'll be out the day before this comes out. So if you haven't yet,
Dude.
go look up Malibu Moon. Find their EP. What are we? What are
big
we-
shoes.
Big shoes.
Big shoes.
Big shoes. Is
Hell
the
yeah.
EP.
The cover art's dope.
Yeah, Drew's was it her cousin?
Yeah.
Her cousin took that photo.
That was a sick fucking
Yeah.
photo.
It's so cool. Like
Yeah.
Drew like sent us like a whole like list of photos to pick from. And she's really good at photography. I'm pretty sure that's her main thing. Sorry if it's not your main thing, Drew, but to us, whatever. Yeah. But she sent us these really cool pictures, and those are ones she's been using to roll out like the announcements for each single. Like they're so cool. They look like AI photos. She's so good at what she does.
Yeah.
But we saw that one with the pool. We were like, dude, that's so fucking sick.
It was. I've really enjoyed watching and like reading into the rollout y'all have been doing on Instagram, and like each song kind of having a story and explanation, just something
Yeah.
as like a little bit of background. I think especially with like with the smaller project like an EP, y'all have been able to put that kind of time and care into it, and just that little extra effort. I like it is sick.
Yeah, I'm glad that we did those posts. I don't actually know who wrote those like bios about our songs, but yeah, they're pretty accurate. Like, you said the word like intention like way earlier about like how intentional are we in the writing of our songs. I would consider ourselves very intentional with how we do things, and I would really encourage the listener to listen with intention as well. You can really apply these songs, these words, and the sounds that are happening out and about when you're listening. You can very much apply the contents of these songs to your life. I mean, I do. Especially with Big Shoes, which is the song that I guess no one's heard yet. I'm really excited about it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited for y'all. I think that y'all are like the amount of like traction and pace that I've seen y'all pick up just since I did first like come into interacting with y'all has been absolutely insane. I don't see any reason that it would or could stop. And having talked to y'all today, like I think like the way y'all go about the process and how many different influences each of y'all bring into the creative process, I think it's a formula for success. Absolutely. We're creeping up on time. Anybody got any like final remarks? Any highs, buys,
Get Brendan on
hellos?
the mic.
I will say to add
Your shoes.
for the writing process, like it's kind of blown me away being with these guys like the past year. Like I kind of just thought this was going to be a slow moving project, but it's quickly taken way more steps very quickly than I thought. And every time we get together as a band, it's like we're more connected. There's more stuff flowing out of us, and it's becoming easier to write.
Keep that shit flowing
So-
out of you.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. Like, I joined Malibu Moon like long after it was kind of started, and it's I think it's really cool that we're working with Drew Bethel, because Drew Bethel is how I met Blake and Christian. I met Tanner through Razorback Marching Band, and Brennan taught me drums when I was little, and then that's basically how we like jammed, because then like Brennan started learning guitar and bass or whatever he would throw
Whatever I
himself
do.
on, and basically we jammed through the rest of my childhood. And but all that jamming, all the learning the cues, learning each other's motives, that's definitely been a backbone of how we jam. We're kind of a jam band, and
For real.
we like to just creatively go off each other. I feel like I can talk about that all day, but yeah.
I mean, hey, we'll extend it if you want to keep going.
My mind's blank at this point.
Word.
Yeah, you blanked me out.
Blake, Tanner,
You as
any
well.
last things?
Listen to the EP when it comes out.
Fuck
Tweet
yeah.
clink.
Hell yeah.
And we have a little handshake.
we
It's the worst
Oh,
thing
let's
ever.
see it.
Do it.
Let's see
All
this
4 of
shit.
you? Oh god. The Lego hands.
To the moon.
To
To the moon.
It's the worst
I love
thing
it.
ever.
All right.
Moon rock.
Well, thanks for joining
Yeah,
us.
thank you guys. This is awesome.
Big Shoes, July 5th. Should be out by the time this is out. So go find it. Go listen intentionally.
Wow,
Yes.
that was
Don't
good.
just listen. Listen.
Heck yeah. Toodles.
Peace.
See ya.
Deuces.